Greetings, valued poll listeners, and welcome to episode 119 of the Poll List Podcast, your monthly pull of comics, pop culture, and faith. I'm your host, Hector Mirai, and generously joining me today is the master of mosaics, Mr. Todd Turner. Hi,
That's
Todd.
right. Hey, Hector. I would say break some glass and then he could put that action figure back up on the YouTube. That was funny.
That is true.
Let's
That,
break some glass.
that could be actually a fun thing of just watching you like fast pace repair some glass and do some stuff like that.
Oh gosh. Yeah. It's so long. It takes forever. But the good thing about the speed up thing, right? It's like, golly, you did that in 20 seconds. Yeah, that was like all three Lord of the Rings extended edition. Thank you.
I've got a I've got a busted Warhammer from the War of Rohirrim I need to fix, but that's not going to be that entertaining.
No, no. Oh, so what are we doing, Hector?
We're going to talk about comics, Todd. Uh,
Awesome.
we're going to be talking about the things that we've enjoyed reading over the last month or so, stuff that we found inspiring, art that we thought was cool, stories that we were glad that were told, stories maybe that aren't so glad that we're told, and all the things that we've enjoyed learning about in this month's edition of reading, being comic book readers. So we hope you're going to enjoy it. We've got some good stuff to talk about, and strap yourselves in and get ready because it's time for another episode of the Playlist Podcast.
Better put the word out. Get ready for the nerd out. Better put specs on. Better break necks on. I cut handsome checks for my expansion sets. They call me Obi-Wan. Act like you know me, son. Better put the word out.
So, any news, anything you want to share with me, Todd? Anything you've
I
seen in the
wanted to
comic
ask
world?
I wanted to ask you about this, Hector.
Okay.
This I didn't even mention um, beforehand, but I we don't get a lot of trick or treaters at my house.
Okay.
When we did, I would give out candy and comic books. But I heard of a person in North Carolina that got arrested for giving out comic books. Have you heard of that?
No.
Well, apparently, what they were doing, I think it was a comic shop owner. They were giving out books, but some of the books they gave out were immature. So they had like things that little kids don't need to see. And parents was like, "What's little Timmy looking at?" And they're like, "Oh my gosh." And they called the cops on him and arrested him for distributing uh,
Illicit materials?
illicit materials to underage children.
Oh, jeez.
Yes. Yeah, somewhere in North Carolina. I thought, oh gosh, I wonder if Hector knows who these people are, but that skipped your radar, huh?
It did
Well,
skip my radar. It's not
I
surprising, but
no, but I do think that if we're giving out comic books at trick or treat, we should give out age appropriate comics. Okay, guys, we don't need to give out stuff, um, that's well, I can't think of like America and Andolfo or whatever, and some other stuff that those books you might want to shy away from passing those out.
that is kind of crazy. One piece of news, and a sad bit of news is a kind of legendary in my area, especially comic book artist named Lewis Small Jr. passed away this week.
Okay.
Lewis worked for Marvel and DC and stuff like before my time. And from what I've seen from other local artists and everything, is that he was kind of a forerunner for the African American community as comic book artists in the Carolinas.
Nice.
So like some other comic book artists that I'm like I would graciously say I'm peers with, not like they're actual artists. Um, but some people in my peer group at Comic Cons and everything said that he was the first like black man they saw at Heroes
Oh,
consistently.
man.
And that he was part of that. And even when I did that North Dakota like Jesus nerdy
The
day camp,
yeah, the day camp up there.
yeah, he was the artist they brought in. And
Oh,
so
nice.
he taught the kids to draw, and he painted like five of their like 12-foot church windows in this big, like very, I don't mean it's an ugly, but like archaic looking church building.
I get you. I know what you mean.
but like with full superhero murals.
Oh, wow.
Um, like he did a full size Wonder Woman and a Green Lantern and a Batman and stuff like that. But he did pass away this week, and so that's a loss there to the comic book community. Just and being a consistently good presence with that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but they let it slip at the New York Comic Con that Colin Farrell is going to be doing a movie called Ordained,
yeah, and it's
and the comic hasn't even come out yet.
yeah, I thought it's kind of nuts. First of all, I was excited about the comic book
I
just
was
based on
too.
just by itself, and then you go
And
throw in a Colin Farrell movie, and I'm like, tell me more.
yeah, and it's so funny because I was telling my daughter, it's by a bad idea. The comic's by bad idea, and I was like, so this priest, it gets called to do last rites for a gangster, mom, and then she's like, oh, and I guess the gangster lives, and he told him all his secrets, and now the gangster wants him dead, and he was probably a Navy SEAL, and I was like, okay, then I guess you just nailed everything, but uh, the preview for the book, and they've been doing like a little preview for it in some of the back material of the Bad Idea comics that are out, and it looks really cool. So I'm really interested. Especially where faith and comics, connect. You can't get much more than a mercenary priest, can you? I mean, I'm sure you could, but
On that note, and it's not as geeky as any of the rest of this, but I am more excited about Ordained. Um, have you heard of Task?
ask.
Yeah,
I don't know.
okay.
Give me the
Task
lowdown.
is if I'm not mistaken, a 6 or 8 episode TV series on AMC. Let's say AMC.
Okay.
Maybe
All
it's
right.
HBO Max. It's HBO Max.
Okay.
Um, but it's a trifecta crime story. Uh, Pseudo retired FBI agent who's a former priest is put in charge of making a task force.
All right.
That's part one. Part two is there is a group of thuggish garbage men who are robbing drug dealing motorcycle cartels. And that's who the task force is sent to track down the thugs robbing the motorcycle cartels
Oh my gosh.
so that it
This
doesn't
is
pop off into a gang war.
yeah.
And then you've got the motorcycle cartels.
Right.
But that all that being said, um, Mark Ruffalo plays the former priest turned
Okay,
FBI task.
I have not seen it, but now I remember the whole Mark Ruffalo thing. Yeah.
And it's got some really solid interjections in terms of uh he was a priest and then met his wife and then they got married and they adopted a kid and the kid that they adopted turned out to be very, let's just say, dangerous.
I got you.
Um and like it the kid ended up killing his wife.
Oh my gosh. This is horrible.
But they
This is a
were
movie that my wife and I can't sit down and watch together.
there. You don't see violence in that aspect, at
It
least.
doesn't matter.
It's just, yeah, just the story of it. But uh, but the problem, what makes it even more complicated, is that they were a pair. It was a brother and sister. So the sister is also adopted is part of the same family,
Gotcha.
and so she's got to witness her brother go to jail.
Mm,
What it does to their family for them to lose the mom, and what it does to Mark Ruffalo's faith
yeah.
and how he's coping with everything. And it's a solid faith story.
Gotcha. Sort of like Signs.
Oh yeah, this is a very gritty Signs. I do love Signs. Signs is great too.
I do too. Swing away, Merle.
Such a good, I treasure that line. Like I will say
I
that.
can't believe we're now into M. Night Shyamalan movies.
Listen, if I see a glass of water just sitting around,
Oh yeah, you're like,
that's my
oh.
first response is swing away, Meryl. Uh, but it also features. Did you watch Moon? No, Iron Fist or Ozark?
Yes, I watched Iron Fist.
Okay, Ozark is Breaking
I
Bad with vacation homes. Um, but
gotcha.
the he was a I want to say he was a bad guy in Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Um, like a Caucasian dude with slicked back hair. Um,
Okay.
he plays the head of the garbage men
All right.
in Task. And there's a lot of redemption arcs and a lot of stories and stuff like
Okay.
that going on, and I don't know. It was a solid show. It's definitely a slow burn, but if the British cop drama with Gary Oldman can get 6 seasons, people can watch anything. Because that
Yeah.
was this
I started watching that one. I can't remember what it was. It was like on Apple TV or something.
yeah. I
Yeah.
was like Slow Horses or something like that.
That's it. Yeah.
And I'm
Slow
like, I
horses.
got to like an episode and a half. I'm like, this is boring. Like, it might be fantastic, but it just the pace that I was looking for, it was not there
Mhm.
at the time. So, um,
Yeah.
any other news, anything you've seen
I just was watching, looking at the hottest comics going right now, and V for Vendetta is back in talks to making a TV show.
with HBO? Yeah.
And I would be for it. I love V for Vendetta. And do you know what they did this November the 5th? They took it off all streaming services. So that if you wanted to watch it, you
You had
had
to
to pay
buy it.
for it.
Yeah.
So I just need to own the movie. That and Redcoat, like the Geiger 80-page giant was like the number one comic going I think last week. That's the first appearance of Redcoat. That's Jeff Johns's, interconnected world. So I guess they're turning that into a movie too, or a TV show. I don't know which. But other than that, there's so much out there, so many trailers going on, so much stuff like that that it almost becomes white noise.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And there's always something to complain about with the comic industry. I'll say this though. Um, remember one of our longer conversations last time dealt with the whole Red Hood #1 issue.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't think I'm telling tales out of school to say this, but I just found this out when I was picking up my books last week.
Hmm.
My comic book shop took them all out of everybody's boxes,
Yeah.
but didn't send them in.
Oh,
He took them from everybody.
and sold them?
No, they're just sitting in a box.
Why?
He doesn't trust anybody else not to sell them. So if he sends
Gotcha.
them in, he feels like they're gonna get sold, and so he's like sticking it to the man. And
I get it.
I'm,
But
I'm like,
yeah, but
um,
he's losing the money for those books. I mean, I don't know what the markup is on comics. Chris would know if he were here. But I mean, what, 50% maybe you think
probably
the markup?
more, probably more.
Um, so I mean, he's losing that much money just by not even selling them at face value.
He said
Um,
it's the principle of it. He doesn't want.
I get it. Okay.
On that note, with Chris now has a job
I
in the
know.
comics industry again,
I
as
know.
the marketing dude for Comics Wellspring.
I
So,
saw that. Don't know what that means, but
Comics Wellspring is the indie publisher that publishes my comic.
oh, cool.
So
Flockword.
they are the people that if you have the idea for a comic and you just want to print it, they
They'll
print
do
it
it for
for you.
you.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All
So
right.
he's going to be marketing comics to indie comic folk.
Neato.
Yep. Well, that's about it for the list of our news that we had to
We
talk
don't
about.
have news,
We
do
don't have
we?
news, dude. Not really. But that's cool. That's good talk. Good talk.
Diamond is still in bankruptcy, so
Who knows, man?
I
I
know.
don't. Uh,
Anywho,
but that's there's only so much you can get from cover to cover. So now it is time for us to actually deal with our issues and talk about the comic pulls for the month. We're going to discuss our top 5 pulls of the month, plus the book that had the most spiritual encouragement in it for us. So let's get ready. And Todd, let's start off. What is your first pick for the month?
gosh, I don't know where to start. I'll go with let's just jump into it with DCKO.
Okay.
So of course KO does not stand for knockout, although it really does stand for knockout. It
Yeah, it
stands for
does.
King Omega. This is the Scott Snyder free for all where you have to find out who the King Omega is in order to take basically whoever ends up being King Omega gets the ability to rewrite the DC universe. And it's hinted at in another book that I read last, like, I don't know when it was, last month or whatever, that Superman is really the King Omega. It has something to do with something that was left on Krypton ages ago before it was destroyed, and his mom knew about it. And you find out more about that in the new issue of Superman. If you got it, it came out. I don't know when that got. Like Superman 31 was a tie-in, and you find out that not only is there an Omega, but there's also an Alpha. The people, and the Alpha is Doomsday. So it's gonna all come down to Doomsday and Superman, I believe. So the book is
Womp
fun.
womp.
I mean, it's got everybody in it, and you've got like freaked out versions of some of the characters in it, and they've got like battle armor and like Hector beforehand was talking about how there's a fun little ambush bug. If you guys don't know who ambush bug is, you need to do like a deep dive into ambush bug and just read some of the little mini series from those. Um,
We'll talk about
but
Ambush book in my polls too.
Awesome. So it basically starts out with the big three sitting down, having pizza, playing a game. And then it comes down to we have to evacuate Earth and we got to go into this battle. First person killed, Batman. But that's so that we can make a Batman comic book for 4 months called something Nightfall or Night something.
Night
Where
fight.
Night Fight, something like that. Where, if I'm not mistaken, Batman is going to work from the outside to help the fighters on the inside. So Hector's shaking his head no.
No.
Um,
Um, have you read Night Fight #1?
I didn't even know it was out.
Yeah, like weeks ago.
Where was I? No,
Uh,
completely missed it.
Night Fight #1 transports Bruce
Yeah,
to a
to a
world.
future. You don't think it's future? You think it's alternate?
This is a world where Dick is Batman,
Dick is Batman. Yes, I did know that.
but Bruce murdered Jason and Damian.
Oh, nice.
And it's some alternate dimension world thing.
Gotcha.
And I was just like, oh, wow.
Well,
I
that's
was
a
I was
bummer.
hoping for kind of what you were saying.
That would be much more entertaining, wouldn't it? If he really had something to do with the thing. But it's, oh well.
Yeah,
So there you go, guys.
it was definitely not that, although I really hoped it was. But
The art in this book is really good. You get hints at, it's going to bring in the absolute universe is going to get tied in here as well. Um, and of course, Dark Side. So it was one that we couldn't pass on talking about just because it's the huge big event that they've been talking about since San Diego Comic Con with Snyder, and it's a pretty book. It's probably honestly feels an awful lot like Dark Knight Metal or Dark Metal or Metal whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
It feels very much like that. Death Metal or Dark Metal, whatever the heck. All we need now is Wonder Woman with an invisible chainsaw. Although, if Superman gets killed, she could take his skull and his spine and weave it with her
That's what I
lasso.
was about to talk about, the lasso from
Dead Earth.
Dead Earth, man. So
Yeah,
good.
I know. There you go. What about you, Hector? Do you got more to say about that book?
There was a thing after Countdown, like called Countdown Arena.
Okay.
This also has very similar
Yeah.
vibes to that.
Yeah.
So I put candy in my mouth. It was a bad choice.
That was my fault for I just literally watched Hector put food in his mouth and said, "What do you think, Hector?"
That's on me. That's on me. Um, so out of the last month or so's pulls, I read two books that I thought that was the best book I've read in a while.
Oh, okay.
This is not it. This
Gotcha.
isn't even a pull. I'm just saying
Oh man.
because it's for kicks and giggles. This is called Hectoplasm.
Okay, well that's funny. I did see it. You got it just because it had your name in it,
Yeah,
didn't
it
you?
has my name in it. And it's literally if this is if Ash from the Evil
I
Dead
was gonna say it looks like Evil Dead.
is living the life of Supernatural.
Oh wow.
So if you
Yeah.
take Ash from the Evil Dead and make him a monster hunter,
Mm-hmm.
there you go.
Gotcha.
It's that. It's
Gotcha.
funny. It's well
I was gonna
written.
say cartoonish art.
The art is cartoonish, but the story is not as cartoonish as the art is.
Gotcha.
The story's pretty actually decent. Like if I
Okay.
I didn't put it on my polls, it's only
But
one of three.
there you go.
If I run into it on the shelf, if I run into issue two, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
It's
There
kind
you
of
go.
where I
I
have to
get you.
leave the gamble of it.
I understand. Is it worth it?
Yeah. What I will say is hands down the best book I've read maybe this year.
Okay. What is it? Come on, give it to me.
It's called Author Immortal.
Oh, I read this. They did not have it in my at my comic shop, but I read it on Hoopla for free.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This was just good.
It was
Um,
really good.
in terms of world building, in terms of character development, in terms of setup, and like I don't know where everything's going, which is always something I enjoy. If you can
Hmm.
keep
Yeah.
me entertained, but not be predictable, and effectively to make this as understandable as possible for just the general listening audience, or watching audience. Hi. This would effectively be if J.K. Rowling
I was getting ready to say. Yeah.
in her current level of banned canceledness reached out to another popular author or semi-popular author to help her boost her reputation back
Hmm.
by, let's say, remaking Narnia.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, and like in the process, there's a legendary author that created this mythical world that this person is talking about rebooting. And basically, the author, whose name is also Hector, um, Hector Ramirez, gets sucked into the fictional world that they're being told to reboot.
Yes.
His kid gets sucked into there, somebody else is in there, and there's a lot of dark mysteriousness. This reminds me, I know it's an image book, but it gives me Boom vibes
Mm.
in terms of
Yeah.
production and storytelling. I
Hmm.
picked up issue two.
Oh, good.
Um, issue two is out as well, and I'll say this. Issue two is not as gripping as one, solely because issue two is a direct continuation, and issue one it's I feel like issue one was the best setup
Setup. Yeah.
for a story in a long time. Now it's hard to follow up with the setup, but that's also the problem is that once you actually start telling the story, you're only getting nuggets.
Hmm.
And there's definitely we got more in issue two, but I'm just like I still don't know what's happening. And I need to, it's that
Hmm.
waiting a
Gotcha.
year to get a story told.
Yeah.
But I felt like hands down, just as a first issue, this was the most compelling first issue I've read in a long time. Um,
All right.
I would highly recommend it. I called my comic book shop, as you see me do, like right before this. I was
Hmm.
calling my
Yes.
comic book shop
And say,
before
hey, put that on there.
hey, put this in my box. Um, I called my comic book shop and got the comic book shop owner. I was like, "Hey, can you put Author Immortal in?" He's like, "We don't have that." I'm like,
But
"I
we can
just
order
bought it.
it.
I'm like, "I just bought that at your store yesterday." He's like, "I've never heard of it." I'm like, "I just bought it at your shop." And so he put
That's
it in my
hilarious.
polls, but it had flown under his radar completely.
That is
Um,
so funny. Yeah.
but I was like, "Dude, I have the receipt. I bought it from your store."
That's funny.
But yeah, so that this is my first one and probably
Okay.
my strongest recommendation. What do you got?
All right. I got Mr. Terrific Year One, Issue Six. This is the culmination of the miniseries that's gone on, and this has been probably one of my favorite minis that DC's put out in a while. It basically tells the story of Mr. Terrific, how he became Mr. Terrific in his first year. You know, they've done these year ones before. And this comes to a culmination with the villain. You find out that, of course, it also has to deal with the fact, that his wife died and she was like pregnant with his son. So there for a while ago, he's thought his son was dead, but you come to find out, oh, his son really wasn't dead. That was back in Flash, like 7.99 or something. Um, but the story shows what happened to the son. The son was taken to Apocalypse and raised by Granny Goodness, like Scott Free or Mr. Miracle was. Um, so, yeah, it's really good story. It sets up more coming in with Dark Side, and there's one of those deals where it's like, oh, is this really the end or not? One of the cool things about the end of it is that the villain, who was captured and sent to Apocalypse ages ago, when Mr. Terrific first became Mr. Terrific, was rescued by Mr. Terrific in the present day. And so she is free and she is contacted by Mercy, who is the lady in charge of Lex Luthor's stuff. So she's going to go work for Lex Luthor. So there we go. So it's going to continue the story. I think that's what her name is. Isn't that what her name is? Mercy Graves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mercy.
Hmm.
She's in the new Superman too as well.
Yeah. So yeah. Good, good. Just read the whole thing collected. There's a lot on faith in it. There's a great part where he basically teams up with Bruce Wayne. There's one thing with Black Lightning, the Spectre. That one is the so good, where it talks about faith. It's a good 6-issue miniseries, and it's over. So yeah, you gonna pull some anime on us now,
I
Hector?
am. I am. Oh, some manga.
Manga, yeah. What
Um,
anime? See, that's what an old 57-year-old guy calls all that kind of stuff.
that there
You got
Japanese
some of that
art.
stuff where you read backwards?
Yeah. I'm gonna swap this out for my spiritual one
Okay,
because
good.
yeah. So I'm gonna swap Quick Stops #3
Oh, okay. I didn't even, I got the first issue. I did not even realize it was still going.
is the
Give me the
first issue the
lowdown.
Chasing Amy one.
I can't remember.
I got one that was Chasing Amy, and it was basically just a comic book retelling of Chasing Amy.
I don't think it was.
Okay, then I just know I got that Quick Stops one. There was one that was Mallrats too. Um, but each of the Quick Stops are single issue
Okay.
stories that take place in the world of Jay and Silent Bob.
Right.
Um, this one is literally uh there's two, and this was in my spiritual category, but I'm gonna pull it out because there's just better stuff in another
I
one.
got, yeah, understood.
There's spiritual stuff in this. There's one thing in this. A lot of times
Well, there's
Kevin
an
Smith.
angel on the cover, it looks like.
Yeah, yeah. It's Alan Rickman as his character from Dogma. Um,
Oh, yeah.
but there's some pros and cons to this one. A lot of times when Kevin Smith is talking about faith-based things, he's edgy, but
Yeah.
he's not necessarily.
Sacrilegious.
Yeah. Um, and this character, Alan Rickman's character, is from Dogma. Now, first off, just say this, and this deserves just a nod in the real world spiritual things. The issue starts off, Todd,
Mm-hmm.
with a news story about Luce, the Catholic anime character that was
Oh, that
introduced by
we, no
that we
kidding.
the
We
comic
talked about that.
we talked about it. The book starts with that.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And it says, and I'm going to read you the news bubble. Um, Last year in Vatican City, the Catholic Church introduced the official mascot of their 2025 Jubilee, an
Mm-hmm.
adorable anime adjacent Moppet named Luce. Designed by Todiki founder Simone Legno, Luce, which is Italian for light, was inspired by the Catholic Church's desire to live even with the pop culture so beloved by our youth, according to Archbishop Reno Fischelia. And then there's a asterisk block directly below this. This is an actual thing the Catholic Church did and said. I swear to God, I didn't make this up. Google it, Kevin.
I swear I didn't make it up. I love that. That's
Because a
funny.
lot of people were
Where are we
comparing
going? Like,
Luce to the
go
Buddy
ahead.
Christ.
Oh, yeah. I could see that. Well, I don't know. I don't think they're comparable, but
Well, listen, just to what the speech was. It was a character created to connect with our youth's pop culture.
Yeah, I agree with that, but it's not Jesus.
No, but the Buddy Christ was a
Yeah,
characterization of Jesus to connect with our youth and culture.
I got you.
Yeah,
That's funny. So he's like someone, yeah, I did it first. That's what
yeah,
he's saying.
basically. Um, but the story, it says, but our top story tonight is the former officially sanctioned mascot of the Catholic Church, the Buddy Christ.
Oh yeah,
He's
that's
straight up
there you
saying, "I
go.
did it first."
Yeah, that is funny.
But the Buddy Christ has been stolen from the church in Red Bank, New Jersey,
Oh, okay.
and it's
And
stolen
that's
by Jay and Silent Bob
okay. There you go.
because they are going to try to resurrect one of their dead friends because they miss him.
Oh, and they think the Buddy Christ will do it.
Well, they're literally trying to cast the spell from Sandman.
Oh gosh, that's yes, nice.
They're trying to trap the Angel of Death.
Oh my gosh.
And so
Okay.
Alan Rickman's character from Dogma shows up. They have lots of witty dialogue.
Hmm.
Um, and there's good things that I really enjoyed in this. Like on a biblical level of like tongue in cheek, it's witty, but it's not sacrilegious. Um, but they have the Bob Recomicon or Bobacomicon, the Necronomicon, but it looks like Silent Bob.
Oh my gosh, that's great too.
So they're trying to use
So
the
that's some fun stuff.
yeah, the Necrobobicon is what they call it.
Necrobabacon. All
Um,
right.
and they're using the Buddy Christ and the Necrobobicon, and the angel tells him you can't do it that way. And so Jay says, "So does that mean Bob's book is full of poop?"
Mm-hmm.
And the angel says, "No more than any other tome transcribed by human hands, like the Bible or Dianetics."
Ooh, gosh,
Now,
nice.
and I was like, "That's kind of a low blow for
Mm-hmm.
him normally. Like he's
Yeah.
normally not that aggressive." With that. So that was kind of like my discouraging thing. But then there's also lots of God talk in it. So he's more like he poops on the Bible, but not God.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he says that we've got a request. He says, where I'm from, they call those prayers. Um, the angel says, but this isn't prayer. This is theological theft. So why are you two in a cemetery performing this silly ceremony with stolen statue? Um, and he goes on, they have good dialogue with it and everything else. Um, and then he and I just posted this on Faith and Fandom a little bit earlier. He makes this really beautifully written speech, and Jay says, "Wow, that actually made me feel good. Is that the Bible?" And to which the angel replies, "Doctor Who, season 2, episode 3, entitled School Reunion."
Oh gosh.
And so the his profound theological quote was from Doctor Who, which tracks because it is theologically accurate. If you're a fan of Alan Rickman, or if you're a fan of Jay and Silent Bob or Dogma specifically, this is a great one. Um, I know that people don't like tune in too heavily onto uh like Kevin Smith to be their theological guide.
Right.
But this has some merit, but also some discouragement. So
Reader
I had to
at your
go
own risk.
read it at your own risk.
There you go. Awesome. My next book is an image book. It is Rocket Fellers, issue 10. It's from Ghost Machine, which is the Jeff Johns imprint over at Image. And this Rocket Fellers is a family that fled the future to the past. And we're just starting to figure out why they had to flee. It is a mom, dad, daughter, son, their like robot dog that looks like a real dog, and the grandfather. The grandmother died in the escape, and the dad's sister was disfigured because of some technology they were trying to work on. And the sister, is now out to get them. And this issue is the Halloween issue. The cover is amazing because all the characters are dressed up as other Ghost Machine characters. which is really cool cover. Makes for a fun cover. I just liked it just for that cover. It's a very good family feel on the book, and they get found out. The people in the future now find out where they're hiding in the past, and this is the raid on their house, and they are trying to escape to get to get to safety, and they want to do another time jump. And at the very end of the book, they do, but they get stranded. It looks like maybe in prehistoric times. Um, the art is good. It's by Peter Tomasi, and I collect all of the Ghost Machine imprints except for one, which you think I would like. Hornsby and Halo. You would think, oh, this might have it, but it's just so blah. So I literally quit collecting it. And it would be the one that I would think, oh, it might have some really good spiritual overtones, but I don't know. It's like too kiddie, but then the kids wouldn't like it. Does that make sense? Kids would not like it.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Disney making the Jim Carrey Christmas Carol. Who they really make that for? Anyway, too creepy for kids, too weird for adults.
Well, it's the Polar Express as well, but
I like that one though. That one's not as creepy.
they're soulless eyes, bro.
Well, maybe. Polar Express. Hot chocolate.
I don't know that I've ever actually watched it all the way through.
Oh, well. The best part is at the very end when Santa Claus takes off from the North Pole and they have like a band play all of a sudden, and it's Elf Aerosmith. Elfa Smith.
I've seen them. Yeah.
Literally, it's Aerosmith as elves. It's so stupid. Anyway, next on the list, Hector.
All right. This is something that literally just came out yesterday,
Oh,
and I've still got some to read on it. I've not fully
okay.
completed it, but
All
I've
right.
read enough. Um,
To know.
The Blues Brothers,
Wait a minute. For serious?
for serious. The Return of the Blues Brothers, The Escape of Joliet Jake, foreword by Dan Aykroyd. It's a Blues Brothers graphic novel, officially endorsed, licensed, and
I didn't
promoted.
even know such a thing. Blues Brothers is in my top 10 movies of all time.
Same. Um, but this has it's written by Stella Aykroyd. So she's
Oh,
one of the writers, along with Luke Paisano, and um, I
so I'm
don't.
assuming Stella Aykroyd is related to Dan Aykroyd.
Yes, yes.
Probably a daughter or a granddaughter for by now. Who knows?
Yep. Um, and it's also got a note in here from uh, I believe somebody from John Belushi's family, um,
Jim?
like child
Oh,
or
okay.
down the line.
Mm-hmm.
But losing a parent lasts forever, but so does a book.
Oh, all
For
right.
for Judy, Peter, and all of our parents on their own missions from God.
We're on a
Um,
mission from God. Don't you
and
blaspheme in here. Don't you blaspheme in here.
and so here's the foreword by Aykroyd.
Oh, nice. Oh, really cool.
And now the artwork is not my favorite style of artwork.
Okay.
Um, it's got I've seen other books in the same vein, and I don't love it. So the artwork is a very certain stylistic.
Yeah. Oh, is it drawn? Did they have it? Is it an artist or is it
Yeah, it's drawn.
okay?
Yeah,
Digital drawing, yeah.
yeah. No, it's all drawn. And in the story, Elwood's a priest.
Nice. Pretending to be a priest, I'm assuming.
No, maybe.
Oh, really?
We'll
Maybe.
see. We'll
We'll
see.
have to read it to find out.
I have to read a little bit further. Because some of it is back and forth. Uh,
Gotcha. I'm gonna look and see if that's available on Hoopla.
it's brand new. But there's several acts to it. There's Act 3 is Everybody Needs Somebody. Act 1 is Juliet Jake's Escape. Um, and it's just another Blues Brothers story. And if the Blues Brothers matter to you, this is something to
They
grab
do.
onto because um it's the first officially licensed Blues Brothers story in a while. Um, And some neat things. It actually has some family photos
Oh, cool.
from
We're putting
Belushi.
the band back together.
Yep. And from their family.
Sometimes it's hard to be a woman.
Uh it says the Aykroyd and Belushi Paisano families have passed the briefcase of the Blues Brothers to the next generation. Escape from Juliet, Escape from Juliet. Jake letters write Stella, Aykroyd, James Warner, and Luke Bazzano take us on the Blues Brothers journey back to the beginning. So they've got like the storyboarding process of how it happened, how they're going to make it happen. So I found about this from the official Blues Brothers like socials account, and they actually, if you see, they did a comic panel on it with
Oh,
Aykroyd,
it,
San
really? At San
Diego.
Diego, it looks like?
Yeah.
Man, didn't know anything about it.
And so I've been waiting on this for a while because there was a week um where they put out two books that I'm like, I need these books at the same time. And they also announced a new Blues Brothers album called The Lost Recordings, which has stuff that you've heard on other Blues Brothers albums, except for Moi, Mon Chéri, and Green Onions. I think
Green
I
onions.
think I've heard every other track except those two. Um, so yeah, as a Blues Brothers fan, this was like essential. But they announced this and Cameron Crowe's book Uncool um the same day. And so I pre-ordered both of them the same day, and
Nice. This
this
one
came
came.
this came about 2 weeks after Cameron Crowe's book. But
All right. So
very
there you
good.
go, guys. You just not all books, graphic novels you have to pick up at your comic book shop.
You can probably pick that one up at your comic book shop, but I don't know. Because
Possibly. It wasn't at my comic book shop. Well, it might have been, and I just didn't look in the graphic novel section because I never look, you know,
can I be super petty and honest?
go do it.
I only look in the graphic novel section to make sure my books are visible.
What does that mean? Oh, your books.
My
I
books.
I gotcha.
My local comic book shop stocks my books, but they stock them in the graphic novel section, and I'm just like yeah, am I visible? Okay, okay. And it's super petty and lame.
I
But
know. It's all right. And you move yours into the front and
I
move everybody else to the
do.
back.
I do. Not maybe not to the front, but I make sure they're not obscured
There you go.
on the
Yeah.
shelf that they're
Nothing's
on.
blocked. I got you.
Yeah.
All right. My next book is Absolute Batman Annual Number One. This is, of course, Absolute Batman, and it is by the story and art. There are two stories in it, are by Daniel Warren Johnson. So it is like a like an '80s heavy metal cover, and big time wrestling. And Batman had a child together. This is, because if you've seen Daniel Warren Johnson's art, you know what I'm talking about. But him doing Batman is amazing. The first story is, it starts out with him and his dad, and he's like, why do bad things happen? And and it's like, what are you going to do about it? And then you turn the page, and it's basically Batman taking on a bunch of uh, white supremacists, I guess is about the only way to say it. And there is a priest who wants to help people, all people, but wants to steps in when Batman's going to go too far. You get police brutality in this. He ends up fighting the police. It's there's a whole lot that goes on in this comic book. And you just have to read it and look at it for yourself. It ends with basically Bruce's dad telling him that no matter what he does, he's proud of him. And in this universe, his dad died at the zoo, and his mom's still alive. And his dad was a teacher, so I think he was a teacher.
And his dad died saving the whole class.
Yeah, the class at a zoo trip. Yeah. So there is a there's just some cool art in this. If anything, it's just look at it just because it's gorgeous to look at. And then the second story is called Sanctuary, and it's a little bit like a fever dream. Um, I feel like it's supposed to be Black Mask and uh, him with his family. I don't know. It was so hard to explain. Um, but it's him with his father. So this was yeah, it was really weird. Um, like, did you get the grenades, Dad, or something like that? And they fighting Batman, and at the end of that one, you get pretty much the same thing with the guy saying, "You're okay, you're all right, kid." It's just weird. It's like, and then there was like another little story at the end that um, I don't know, was like a little, let's learn about bats. And it talks about little things with bats, explore bats. The whole entire reason why I got this book is because of Daniel Warren Johnson. That was it. Just to look at it, because I can look at his stuff forever. And like we talked about already, I've been chasing Wonder Woman Dead Earth from him um, ever since. That was my first experience with him as a creator. I went back, and Murder Falcon's fantastic, and the one that it was the wrestling one that I can't remember the
Do a
name of
power
was
bomb.
Do a Power Bomb. That one right there. We could do sermons
Where
on Do a Power
he
Bomb.
literally wrestled Jacob wrestled God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no kidding. That was yeah. I didn't even catch that until my daughter was like, that's Jacob, Dad, wrestling God. I was like, wait, it is, isn't it? Oh man, yeah, great, great. Anywho, all right, Hector, what's next on your list, buddy?
So I won't be able to flash this one because I bought it digitally.
That's okay. What is it?
Satanic Panic #1.
Oh, there you
Now,
go.
first of all, that felt like that one deserved my money for the title alone.
Title alone.
Because if you're not aware and you're not part of religious culture to know what this is, the Satanic Panic,
The
uh,
80s.
70s and 80s was the Satanic Panic
Mhm.
where rock and roll and Dungeons and Dragons and anything subversive of that nature was the devil,
Yeah.
and you had to get the kids away from it. And so
Hey, that's why I
parents,
wasn't allowed to play Dungeons and Dragons.
right? If you've seen Stranger Things season 4, that the Satanic
Hmm.
Panic, literally them hunting down Eddie, and uh, so that's a real thing, and that's a recurring thing. In the '60s, it was the Beatles and Elvis, in a lot of ways. In the '70s, it was rock music and Dungeons and Dragons, and the going on to the '90s, it was Pokemon and Harry Potter. Uh, in the 2000s, it was anime. And so there's usually a cultural point where
What it
parents,
is now. What
yeah,
is it now? AI.
TikTok,
TikTok. Well, TikTok is the
TikTok,
devil.
yeah, see,
But
there you
anyway.
go. But there's usually a cultural fixation point where adults say this one thing is the evil that's keeping our kids away from God or
Hmm.
destroying the youth of the nation. It's
Right.
usually anything that gets labeled in the Satanic Panic. So calling a comic book the Satanic Panic, I'm just like, I like you.
Woohoo.
I like your witty
Well
jib.
done.
But it was DC's Halloween special, and I don't know why, but it was so hard to find physically. I could not find a physical copy. Um, and to my knowledge, my shop never even got it, which is
Mm,
weird because I asked them for it and they had no idea what I was talking about. Um, and it might have just been the fact that it was titled that and nobody knew what it was. But if you like Halloween stories or horror stories or anything like that, it is a girthy tome of DC's Dark
girthy
Label.
tome. Listen to you pulling out the words.
It's got a Zatanna story. Um, it's a father-daughter story about her. There's a Batman story that's almost completely silent.
Mm.
Um, and but it's called Ouroboros, and it's about
Oh,
Batman being a slave to his own cycle.
gotcha.
Um, and like it's one of the ones where it's very much so like a fearful symmetry from Watchmen.
Oh,
That the panels link up and it can be read backwards to forwards or forwards to backwards.
oh, that's cool. I always like that.
Yeah. And so that Batman one does that. And one of the neat things with it, uh Batman, if I'm let me double check myself here. Um Batman only says one phrase in the entire story, but it's repeated, and it's one of, like I said, it's a backwards and forwards thing, and it cycles out that it works both ways throughout the story.
Okay. Yeah. So it
Um
is a circle.
yeah. It says I am not a prisoner of any circle. And that's all he says, but he says it at the beginning and he says it near the end.
Gotcha.
Um, so it's just a neat thing with the Ouroboros thing. There is a ridiculously uncomfortable story of Plastic Man fighting a demon. And if I'm not mistaken, it's that one creepy demon from DC that's made up of like babies. You know
What
what I'm
the
talking?
heck is that? No.
Hold on.
Baby demon
There is a demon in the DC world
that's made up of babies.
that's made up of dead babies. And the first time I saw it was in 52 because Mary Marvel and Black Adam fight it or something to that effect. Um,
Yeah. Doesn't pull anything up. It just pulls up Etrigan. But that ain't true because he ain't made of dead babies. He just
no,
rhymes all the time.
yeah. And this might not be that, but I think it is because I can see babies' faces in this
Okay.
thing.
That's creepy. But
Uh,
you know what? There's a little bit of creepy in Plastic Man anyway.
yeah. So, but here's how Plastic Man fights this creature, and it's not that I'm correct myself. It's another thing, but it's something that like absorbed all the parents and made them into a gelatinous blob. Plastic Man goes to somebody's or sets up at somebody's house and feeds kids this chocolate, which makes them melt so he can absorb them and absorb their strength and fight this monster. So
Okay.
Plastic Man gives kids candy
Nice.
that melts their bodies
That's
and
just,
forms into him. Super creepy.
that's
Weird
weird.
story. There's a character in here that I don't really recognize or know, but it's whatever. I read through it. There's a
You
Etrigan.
didn't know who the character was?
No idea.
I love it when that happens.
I was like, bro, I don't know who you are. Hold on. Um, uh, let's see.
I was going to say, do you have a picture?
Yeah, he's got a Thor helmet and a loincloth.
A Thor helmet and a loincloth. Oh, that's Warlord.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, Warlord. I'm pretty sure that's who that is.
It says,
He's like a normal dude that was sent back to like in the barbarian times or
yeah,
whatever.
in Skartaris, the
Yeah.
sun never sets. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So he's got a
Anyway,
story. Yeah.
yeah.
I was like,
Why in the world would they pick him for a Halloween show? That doesn't make any sense at all.
bro, I read
But
this whole thing. I'm like, I don't know who you are. I don't care who you are. I'm just trying to get to the next story.
get to the next story.
So
All
there's
right.
one with Etrigan, um, and it's a pretty good one. And they make fun of his rhyming with other demons are making fun of his rhyming. It's good.
Oh
Um,
yeah. I love it that.
which I got to a ninja in Naruto who does the same thing, and I'm like,
Okay.
he's just Etrigan, bro. There's a Swamp Thing Constantine werewolf story that's really good.
Yeah.
Um, uh, there's a Raven story, um, that's dark,
Mm.
but like unnecessarily dark. But then there's a whole ambush bug story, and what makes the ambush bug story great is that ambush bug is trying to tell his own story, but he's literally walking through everybody else's stories in this thing.
Oh wow.
So as he's trying to hunt down the clues to what's going on, you see him go into Plastic Man's story. You see him go
Nice.
into everybody
Mhm.
else's. So it's got a nice little vibe with that. And even in one part, this is my favorite thing. Uh, once it clears up, you see him walk into a Superman story that they cut.
Oh, oh, nice. It was one that they thought, but then they're like, ah, we won't use that one.
Yeah.
So it's just like the pencils.
And so it's just the pencils of it. And he says, uh, he says, this isn't a haunting. This is the Superman comic the DC canceled because it wasn't heroic enough for the Man of Steel's big year.
Oh yeah, because it's the year of Superman.
Yeah. And so that was great. So it's just fun. I genuinely like their specials. Um, and this one was a pretty good one.
I know. Gosh. And what about me, man? Like, I don't have a single Marvel book until the very, very end. But it's not this one. It's my spiritual one. Everything else, four DC and one independent. Wonder what that says. Um, oh, I forgot what I was going to tell you in the news. I'm going to tell you really quick. My Comic Con that I'm supposed to be doing in Nashville, they moved the date. Have you ever had that happen?
For flooding,
So from January 31st to February 1st to the next weekend. And they just announced it this week.
that's ridiculous.
That's just crazy, isn't it? Their excuse was that the venue double booked. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to make disparaging remarks or anything,
I'll
but
make some disparaging remarks. I'm not involved in this show. That sounds like they didn't do their paperwork and now they're trying to cover for it.
well, it was a disaster the first because this is their second year. The first year was a disaster.
Do you know how many celebrities you lose and stuff moving
They
away?
only lost one. That's it.
Who'd they
Yeah,
lose?
Melissa Joan Hart. So Elijah Wood's still going to be there. John Rhys Davies still going to be there. Susan Sarandon, everybody else is a go. Um, um, Fangirl, uh, Ashley's
Ashley will
going to
be
be
there.
there. Hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
Anywho, that's it. My last book, it just came out today. It is Batman Deadpool #1. This is DC's Batman Deadpool. Marvel did Deadpool Batman about a month ago. So this is DC's, and the first story is, of course, Batman and Deadpool, written by Grant Morrison. And this first story is fantastic. So it starts out with like Marvel's Eternity, and I don't know who DC's character is for their like Eternity or whatever, but it's like one of those Celestials, and they're like, well, what if Eternity and their character like they start kissing, and all of a sudden, they meld the universes. So that's basically the premise for this, and you jump right into a Batman Deadpool story with the villain is Cassandra Cain and Court of Owls. And it's so good. Like there's one part in it that this is some of the
Like
best Deadpool.
Cassie's part of the Court of Owls now?
No, she's not. Not Cassandra Cain. Cassandra Nova. Cassandra Nova, not Cassandra Cain. Cassandra
Okay.
Nova.
Like Charles Xavier's sister.
Charles Avery, right. And Court
Oh,
of
that's
Owls.
terrifying.
Yeah. So this is some of the best written Deadpool I've read in forever. Forever. I mean, sometimes Deadpool is just, whoever writes is just too much, but I guess where you've got Batman as the straight man, that might help some. Like there's one part where Deadpool just keeps on talking and keeps on talking. And he's like, you don't say much, do you? And he goes, man, I've had all these kids growing up with me, and my arch villain is a psycho clown. And he goes, I didn't even know you were talking. Basically, I wouldn't even listen to a word you were saying. It's just really good. Grant Morrison inserts their self into the book, and because that's it's like there's like a typewriter or a person who is in charge of writing the stories, and that's what happens. You have to take over the person who's creating the story. Batman gets killed, and of course Deadpool throws him into the Lazarus pit, and he comes out as Dark Claw, which is the Batman Wolverine amalgam from Amalgam Comics. Um, and then the writer changes it, and it's a Deadpool Batman called Deadbat, and that's how they defeat Cassandra Nova. Deadbat basically cuts her head off. Very good, very fun, silly. The art is great in it. Um, I, I liked it better than the Batman uh, Deadpool Batman story. I really like this one. The second story is John Constantine and Doctor Strange. Constantine is they're trying to stop the magic from both worlds, disintegrating all the worlds, and it's not very long, but it's drawn by oh, what's his name? Hayden Sherman, the guy that does Absolute Wonder Woman. So the art is really good. The my next favorite is the Nightwing and Laura Kinney Wolverine story by Tom Taylor, which is really good because it talks about how they both have like they're filling the shoes of their fathers basically. And you get Haley the dog is back in it, and Batgirl shows up briefly, and it's just very touching. It's Tom Taylor at his best, telling a really relatable story, and it's each in that story you hear Nightwing think about Laura Kinney Wolverine, and like she's fearless and blah blah blah, and then you hear her talk about Nightwing like he has no powers but he puts himself in front of all of us. It's really cool. The writing is really well done. There's a silly cartoonish story with Harley Quinn and the Hulk. It's just bonkers fun. I mean, it's nothing crazy, not like some deep meaningful story. And then the last story just felt sort of like, I don't know. It was Static and Miss Marvel. And it really didn't do anything for me. And I don't know, it's because they're just two characters that I don't care much about, but yeah. So that was this is an expensive book. It's like $8, but um, it's really good. The first three stories were great and worth it.
That's good. I mean, I've really had a lot of hope for these crossovers, and um,
Oh, they've been fun. I really like the Wonder Woman Captain America one in the last. It stood out really well for me.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, last one.
So for me, World's Finest, number 44.
All right,
Did you read this one?
I did. Is this him and Supergirl?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
Tim and Supergirl, and this was just fun. It was maybe the best written I've seen Tim Drake be in a long time. They taken Tim down some like odd
Yeah.
roads over the last decade, and from everything we saw with um what was the group called? Or was it just the Outsiders when it was Tim and Clayface and
No,
uh
that wasn't the Outsiders. He wasn't a member of the Outsiders. I don't know what that was.
there was an ongoing book um that had Tim, Clayface, Stephanie, uh
Oh, I have no idea. They
uh
they they were in Batman Urban Legends.
yeah, it's not that because it's the one
Okay.
where Tim died.
Oh, I don't
Where
know.
they thought that Tim died, but he really got they Bruce Wayne year one him or whatever and sent him to the past.
Gotcha.
But the original team was Clayface, Batwoman, Tim, and somebody else. But it's when Clayface wore like a restrictive bracelet and he was a superhero.
Oh,
And either way,
okay.
from
Yeah.
then on, they've made some really weird choices with him. This was the first. This feels like proper Tim. This feels good. This feels entertaining. He's charismatic. Him and Supergirl are just really fun to listen to. There's a whole commentary on podcasts and people who listen to podcasts giving you too much advice. I mean, it was just fun. And this is one of the ones I said personally was one of the best written things that I've read in a while. Um,
Listen, World Finest has been good. It's
and
which
that's
is
I've
odd.
I read the first 12 over the summer, and I'm catching up. Obviously, I'm not up to 44. Um,
Yeah, and a
but
new one came out today.
yeah. And that's the thing because I knew this was a one shot, I jumped on it.
Hmm.
And it also had the pick of the week at my comic book shop the week it came out.
Oh, cool. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, comic book shop.
But this was fun.
All
And
right.
like I like actually enjoying things I read every now and again.
I think Mark Waid on his World's Finest run has been just picking stories that feel outside of continuity, but are really still build on continuity. Like he does things from the past, and but then you're like, oh, but it really had repercussions on what's going on now. I don't know. He's been really good about that, but he's been writing comics for a while.
Yeah.
He's about as gray as me. Probably is. All right. Well, I've got one book left, and it's the one that I thought really spoke to me spiritually, the mostest. And this was Fantastic Four #4. Did you read that? Um, so the
I've not
Fantastic
picked
Four.
up the new series yet at all.
Okay, it's really good actually. This opens up with the pages all black, and there are just word bubbles in it because you're seeing everything from Alicia's standpoint, Ben's wife, who is blind, and um, she comes home, and they have a new dog. And it's like, we got a surprise for you, mother. We got a new dog. Surprise. She goes, Ben, we already have the cat and Princess, do we? And then she's like, we just call him they're like, we just call him Get Jelly Bean. And she's like, then you turn the page and it is not a dog at all. It is like a crazy tentacled creature, that you come to find out that these creatures are invading Earth, but they have the ability to make people see them as loving little pets. But since Alicia doesn't see things the way other people sees them, she can tell that it's not a dog. At first, she touches it and she goes, "That's not right." And then she touches it again, and well, maybe it is, because it has the ability to make people think of what it is. Um, and of course, she ends up helping Reed save the day. And at the end, they uh, they basically say, "Well, you're part of the Fantastic Four," and she goes, "But I'm not a member of." And Thing goes, "Come on, Leash. It's a metaphorical four. You just teamed up with Mr. Fantastic to save the world. I'm not sure what qualifications are higher than that." And then she goes, "Do I get a uniform? I mean, if you want one, I'm sure. Actually, I'll take that flying bathtub." So, which is the car. But anyway, what touched me about that was the fact that she sees things in a different way than we see things, and and I know that that's how God sees us. We are supposed to see people through Jesus's God's eyes, and it's a struggle sometimes for us to do that. I know me personally. I have to continually tell myself sometimes that this person is a child of the King. That you have to look at this person through Jesus's eyes. And that's it's a conscious decision we have to make almost every day. And I just saw that, I was read that, just that first page, going, man, if I just, don't look at people, what they've done, who they are, or where they are, or what they look like, or what their social status is, but you know, look at them with my eyes closed and look at them with Jesus' eyes opened, the way Alicia did with the creature, and um, we'll just realize that everyone's a child of the King, and I think that's what spoke to me in that book. So, I mean, it's just one page, but sometimes there's just one little thing. They say one thing and it does it.
That's like with the memes I do on my page.
Yeah.
Like sometimes somebody like will like just not glance, and so posted one the other day about carrying our burdens and struggles, and somebody dropped a 3-page response
On one little thing.
on one meme. Now it was definitely heavy and probably more stuff than I could properly counsel over a comment window, but like
Hmm.
it's like okay, like one little thing
Well, I
steamrolled.
mean, you know, the Bible is the ultimate story, and I think that's why, it's not, this God's story is underlines almost every story. I don't think there's a way. I mean, you can't get away with creating something and not having, whether you don't want to be, whether you don't profess or not. There's no escaping that creation and that God doesn't somehow influence your story. I mean, it has to. Um, Even Kevin Smith in his, I mean,
It's like even with the Kevin Smith one, I know what he just said in that one issue, but
yeah.
somewhere on my bookshelf I have his actual memoir, and like he goes on to the fact that he actually does pray every time like he's in a scary situation or whatever else, and the
Mm,
fact he survived a heart attack and his wife
yeah.
makes fun of him for praying, but like
Hmm.
he's like I can't look at what's going on around me and not think that
Yeah.
God's got a hold on this.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's why I
But
want to have a
what
good conversation with him, but not one where I have to pay to take a photo and run away.
I
Like
know. Yeah. Let's sit down. Let's have dinner. Come to let's have dinner or
I want to
something.
have a
That's what I'm.
dinner conversation with Kevin, and I want to have a dinner conversation with Mick Foley, and I think it would increase
Ooh,
the quality of all of our lives,
there you
or
go.
the three of our lives.
Mick
Um,
Foley. He doesn't have to wear a sock, does he? On
no,
his hand to
not on
eat.
the not during dinner.
Okay, good.
Um,
Well, what touched you? What spoke to you?
uh, me would for mine is the final book of My Hero Academia,
All right.
issue 42 or volume 42, which also was kind of cool. They ended on 42.
Oh,
Um,
that's yeah. There you go.
but are you familiar with My Hero at all?
Just like the first 3 or 4 seasons.
Okay. Are you familiar with the one bad guy called Dobby who's like black from here down or purple and it's like his mouth is stapled?
No, was he
Okay.
the one that had all the balls at the very beginning?
No, 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 no. That's yeah, I don't
No, that
remember that kid's name either. But
okay.
he's one of the League of Villains. He wears like a purple leather coat. He's got black
Gotcha.
hair. He looks like a real gothic Deku.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Um and he has like a black flame or something, power or whatever. He's the cool bad guy that all the girls
Gotcha. There you
like
go.
in the real world. Um well, it turns out storyline wise, he's Todoroki's brother, Endeavor's son.
Okay.
Um like but he's like a offshoot not recognized by the family child, and like through his power um he sat there and watched his dad be the hero to the whole world, meaning while he wasn't being a father or recognizing him.
Yeah,
And this
that's
whole thing of
tough.
bitterness that riled up, and which made him want to rival and destroy Todoroki even more. And it was this whole long storyline. So towards this past season or two of My Hero Academia, and because I've not watched the last like 2 years worth of My Hero Academia. I've just read.
Okay.
So I don't know where people are with things. In terms of seasons, I know that it's about to catch up to the final book. Um,
So beware spoilers.
Honestly, by the time they listen to it, everything will be out, I think.
All right,
Um,
good deal.
but
Not
I mean,
spoilers.
but do what you want. But so there's this big climactic thing where in a battle where uh Dobby is the evil kid, um, is hell bent on mm, going out in a
Blaze of Glory.
blaze of glory kamikaze style and taking his dad with him.
Gosh.
His dad, who starts off as a colossal douchewaffle for most of the story, but you actually see him grow in character and repentance through the entire story. Um, where his dad says, this whole time all you wanted to do is talk. I'm sorry. I haven't been here for you." And he literally just walks up and accepts it that he's just going to stand there and be burned to
Gotcha.
death with his son.
Mm-hmm.
But then the like half the family has fire power, half the family has ice power, and one of them has both. And so like the whole family decides, you know what? Screw it. We're either going to save you or we're all going to die.
Okay then.
And so they, as the Dobby, as like putting out nuclear levels of heat,
Mm-hmm.
the ice portions of family wrap around him
Gotcha. And
and just
negate it.
and try to negate it.
Mm-hmm.
And they, to my memory, because this was a couple books ago, they live, but they're literally just decimated, and the entire family's like sprawled out on the ground.
Gotcha.
And so while they're there, they start talking
Oh, nice.
and they start having a family conversation. It's like, it shouldn't have taken this much for us to actually talk to each other.
No.
Uh,
Yeah.
so, end of the story, final arc of the book. Um, Endeavor, Dobby's dad, Todoroki's dad, um, is disabled and disfigured and in a wheelchair,
Mm.
and he's going to
Mm.
be never be a hero again, etc. His son, who's now like a terrorist war criminal, um, is in like an iron lung after he's burned off all of his
Oh my gosh.
insides and outsides and everything
This
else.
is horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. Um, but the dad says, I don't care. You do what you want, but I'm dedicating the rest of my time to coming to every day to talk to you. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk to you. And I'm going to be here to listen when you want to listen. And, and he's like, they're saying, what is it? He says, Endeavor, the hero, is dead and burned away. Your flames were fiercer than any I've ever faced. Um, he said, you kept a close eye on me. You only ever wanted me to watch you, but I never did. Uh, People can say what they like, but the fact is that he's like, I could see that you are mine. He said, I'll come every day to talk with you. I realize it's far too late, but let's talk. Um, and so he just makes that dedication. He's like, you know what, I'm going to show up daily. Now,
Yeah.
fast forward, there's another portion of the story where one of the other people that was part of the Evil League of Evil or whatever they were called, um,
Evil League of Evil.
from Doctor Horrible, but like when Deku finally defeats the main bad guy, uh he says, I need you to go tell Spinner, which is this lizard looking dude. He said, I need you to go tell Spinner this message. So in his like final moments, he's like, deliver this message to this one guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Spinner he signed on for the Evil League of Evil because they were the only people that loved him and believed in him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I needed a hero too. I wasn't a good guy and they were my heroes.
Gotcha.
Um, and like, so Deku just goes and he sits and listens with him and he says, I'll come visit you and we'll talk. And he's like, and he says, I want you to know I'm going to write a book and I'm going to tell everybody about what really happened and about how he was the real hero of all these things. And so Deku's walking away. He's like, make it a graphic novel instead.
Nice. Make it a graphic novel.
He's like, I'll read it. And they just built this thing, but the whole thing is like the the big fights have happened. There's no more
Mm-hmm.
major evil or conflict, but they
Right.
don't just stop the story. The story goes on to say, here's how we're reconciling.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the things that we suck at as a church sometimes as believers is that we're here for the conversion, but not for reconciliation, not for redemption,
Mm-hmm.
not those things, because a lot of the stuff that goes down isn't just believing in Jesus. It's like, what do we do with the
Yeah.
the hurt after that?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And there's this passage, 2 Corinthians 5, a lot of 2 Corinthians 5, but just specifically 18 through 21 says, "All this is from God who reconciled us to himself through Christ and gave us the ministry of reconciliation." That God was reconciling the world to himself in Christ, not counting people's sins against them, as he is committed to us, and he has committed to us the message of reconciliation. We are therefore, as Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making his appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. God made to him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. And I think that's one of the things is that we miss out on the fact that God literally put us here to be agents of reconciliation, and that it's not the big burnout fights and battles like you see through My Hero throughout the whole story. It's the, hey, I'm going to come sit with you every day and talk about these things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come sit with you through the pain. I'm going to make up for the fact that I didn't give you the attention. I'm going to listen to your story being told, stuff like that. And I think it was a really good reminder that the real hero work isn't just the combat, it's the how do you reconcile what's broken.
Yes, I 100% agree with you. I mean, this is coming, my wife, and we've mentioned this before, she is a therapist, and this is what she does, and it's heroic, honestly. I see what she does, and it's because there are a lot of hurting people out there, and the church is guilty of it many times. I mean, you've heard church hurt. It shouldn't even be a term. Okay. I mean, it shouldn't, right? But it is. And, but even that though, I mean, if someone has something that they're dealing with, some type of, and they are convicted to turn from it, or, maybe they're in a relationship that is just bad, and they need to get out of that. Once they do, there are other steps that have to be taken, and once you decide to give your life over to Jesus and turn parts of your life over that are not holy, there's healing that has to be done. And it's not, people, you just can't do that on your own. I mean, it's hard to do. I mean, the church is here, should be here to, like you said, help those people reconcile to God, to each other. And there are a lot that do that. There are some that don't. But I think it's a place where we as individuals need to be aware that we are called to be agents of reconciliation, like you said, and not be afraid to get messy. Because it's messy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, My Hero Academia.
Yeah, I mean, legit.
For bringing the thunder.
My Hero Academia has always been like very like resounding in terms of like good character development in people. So I've always appreciated that.
All right.
Well, folks, I think that's our podcast. Thank you for taking time.
I think that's our podcast.
I think that's our podcast. Who knows? That's a wrap for the Pull List Podcast. Episode 119 is officially in the books and now in your ears and your eyeballs. Thank you for taking time to listen. If you want to watch this visually, make sure you head over to YouTube, where you can find the Pull List YouTube channel over there through Love Thy Nerd. You can also find us on, we've got our own Pull List YouTube. You can also find us on the Glue Network, GLU, where you can find some content there for spiritually encouraging nerdy stuff. You can also find more podcasts from the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network. Lots of good content there, and the community has a lot of great things to offer as well. All for you to be encouraged and to be challenged as you grow. So to be able to experience that. Todd, thank you for taking the time to record with us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, dude. Thank you all for taking time to listen to and for reading. And remember, kids, read more comics.
Read more comics.
That's right. Have a great day.
Adios, muchachos.
I'm gonna take all 7 continents as a game of risk.